Hi, my name is Sara Heitlinger, and I'm presenting on behalf of my co-authors, Lara Houston, Alex Taylor, and Ruth Catlow. And this paper is called Algorithmic Food Justice, Co-Designing More Than Human Blockchain Futures for the Food Commons. The global industrial food system encloses and extracts value from our planet's resources, concentrating benefits in the hands of a few major players. In the process, industrial agriculture is causing mass species loss, degradation of soils, and the disempowerment of small-scale farmers, ultimately threatening food security for all life on Earth. This paper is concerned with the values that are driving these unsustainable social and environmental inequalities, and how digital technologies might intensify them, as well as how they might allow for fairer and more sustainable food systems. We describe a project that takes an algorithmic approach to creating a sustainable food justice system and discuss our process of co-designing blockchain futures with urban agricultural communities in London as a way to critically engage with alternative value systems that draw on the commons and more than human perspectives, which recognize the interdependencies between humans and non-human others within the food chain. It considers in particular how blockchain, the technology underpinning cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, might offer ways to disrupt the prevailing paradigms and open up possibilities for more sustainable systems of value and governance in the context of food. So the project asked, how can we develop a more than human value system in order to redistribute value more equally between humans and non-human others? How might we develop new ways to sustain the food commons in order to manage resources more equitably? And how can we ensure that our algorithmic approach is inclusive in order to support participation and access for diverse marginalized citizens? We ran 3 workshops with participants that included community growers, organizers, artists, and technologists, where we critically experimented with algorithmic possibilities for new value systems that embed the interests of non-humans, such as seeds, soil, and water, in order to create more sustainable, inclusive, and just food futures in the city. In the first workshop, Mapping the Future Farm, we mapped the multi-species stakeholders and resource flows in the city farm now and 10 years in the future from the grower's expert knowledge. In workshop 2, Now London is a City Farm, we used a gameplay technique called a LARP, a live action roleplay, to explore what London would be like if all available spaces were turned over to urban farming. We used fictional scenarios to explore multi-species relationships, new economies, and radical decision-making processes for sustaining a citywide food commons. In workshop 3, we prototyped new algorithmic systems for a future food commons. We explored how blockchain affordances could help distribute resources more fairly between multi-species members, recognize the contributions and needs of diverse members, address some of the injustices in the current food systems, and create a more balanced and fair food system. Participants worked in groups to create new blockchain-based organizations, or DAOs, and used paper-based syntax cards to determine the governance rules or smart contracts of those organizations and their multi-species members. These organizations allowed for new types of value exchange and governance. In the paper, we discuss how the speculative workshop methods created a space in which human exceptionalism and privilege within food systems were challenged, allowing alternative values and perspectives to surface. In the imaginaries produced in the workshops, the blockchain provides the mechanisms to facilitate ecological repair and regeneration by incentivizing the expansion and increasing the abundance of mutually beneficial relations. We also discuss how within the workshops, food was reconfigured from a commodity to be exchanged for maximum profit to a more than human commons, in which different types of contributions and labours that are invisible within the dominant industrial food complex might be surfaced, acknowledged, and rewarded within a community. Thank you.